What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Crypto Blitz, your home for your crypto fix. I'm your host, Ripple Van Winkle. Hopefully everyone's having an amazing day. It's Friday, the weekend. I love the weekend. Hopefully everyone got amazing plans for tonight. Maybe you're going out to dinner on Valentine's Day with that special significant other. Look, I used to go out on Valentine's Day. I don't do it anymore. You got to call weeks in advance to get a reservation. Everything's packed. The lines are out the door. I know the service sucks because it's so overwhelmed. It's just, it's that thing. It's not worth it. I feel like, and as you get older, you either go out a day before or like the day after instead of going out on the actual day. I feel like going out on the actual day is for like newly formed couples. I don't know. Just my opinion. Maybe I'm just old and cranky. Who knows, folks? Who knows? I don't think that's the case. But you never know, right? In this episode, we got a lot to cover. RLUSD, is it going to be replacing USDT? That's the question. We got a lot of interesting news pieces and news articles to line up here to look over because something is definitely cooking with Ripple stablecoin. We know USDT is already being delisted in Europe due to MiCA rules. Will the US follow the same pursuit here on it or not? We're going to talk about Coinbase's CEO, Brian Armstrong, because he made a very bold prediction that 10% of the global GDP would shift in the financial system and head over into crypto. We're going to look at what that means, what that would do for the prices of such assets like Bitcoin, XRP, and Solana. So without further ado, sit back, relax, let's jump into a Bitcoin, $96,725. It's currently up 0.92% in the past 24 hours. Ethereum coming in at 2,685. It's up 0.94%. XRP's having a little bit of a dip here, but you know what? I'm happy to come on this show each and every single morning and tell you that XRP is above $2. That is a great sign. A great sign. Coming in at $2.68. It's still up over 9% as USDT is coming in at $1 and USDC still at 99 cents. Total cryptocurrency market cap chilling at 3.2 trillion. We just cannot get that breakout to 3.5, then get to 4. Not yet. It is coming. North Carolina, guess what? And we're seeing this. A lot of states are starting to come out with this. It states that North Carolina introduces a bill to invest in Bitcoin and digital assets. It says the state of North Carolina has become the latest to introduce a bill allowing the investment of public funds into digital assets like Bitcoin. Notice how they state digital assets. They're not just saying you can only invest into Bitcoin. They are stating you can invest into digital assets, and they give Bitcoin as an example. We already know the Bitcoin maxis are going to say North Carolina is allowing people to invest in Bitcoin and Bitcoin only, when that's just not the case, folks. It says the bill grants North Carolina's state treasurer the authority to allocate state funds into digital assets while adhering to strict security management and oversight criteria. Investing in digital assets like Bitcoin not only has the potential to generate positive yields for our state investment fund, but also positions North Carolina as a leader in technological adoptions and innovation, Hill said. He says the average market capitalization of the digital assets over the preceding 12 months is at least $750 billion. That's huge. It's absolutely huge. So we're going to see more and more states starting to allocate their treasuries into the digital asset sector. And then don't forget about this. This was announced a week ago. The CFTC, this is going to play into the USDT and RLUSD. It says the Commodity Futures Trading Commissions will hold a forum for the industry leaders, including Crypto.com, Coinbase, Circle, MoonPay, and Ripple, talking about groundbreaking initiatives for the U.S. digital asset markets. Remember, Chairman Carolyn Pham, met with Brad Garlinghouse a couple of years ago. Why are we talking about this? Well, don't forget, David Schwartz is like, so I guess this is public. Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse and Mike Novogratz lent MoonPay $160 million to help launch the Trump coin. So you take in the launch of Trump coin with Ripple and MoonPay helping out, And then we look at the CFTC digital asset market pilot and who's on that. MoonPay and Ripple. Interesting, right? So it's like, where does this go? What is the bigger play here? Because obviously the Trump token launch wasn't just to line his pocket. There is something bigger coming with this within the cryptocurrency markets. Excuse me. And this was to help get crypto onto the eyes of every American, even people outside of the USA. Then we get this from Brian Armstrong. He states, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong predicts 10% of the global GDP to be on crypto rails by 2030. Let that sink in for a second. Do you understand how massive this is? And remember, these people, they know a lot more than we do. They know what's going on behind the scenes, everyone. He's not just saying this because he's trying to pump his own bags. He knows what's cooking behind the scenes and what is being discussed. So I've did a whole thread on this and I broke it down. Excuse me, my throat. It says current global GDP around 105 trillion as of last year. 10% of that would be 10.5 trillion tied to crypto. So 10.5 trillion tied to crypto by 2030, which would get us anywhere from, 13 to 15 trillion dollar market cap in crypto. That's huge. Bitcoin's market cap today, 900 billion. If crypto is 10% of the GDP, Bitcoin alone could be worth 5+ trillion, putting its price well above 200,000 per Bitcoin, assuming a similar supply. Altcoins like ETH, XRP, and Solana would follow with multi-trillion-dollar ecosystems. If we're talking a multi-trillion-dollar ecosystem on XRP, we're talking this thing being up anywhere from that $15 to $20 region. Massive, folks. Absolutely massive. Especially if you're only looking at XRP at $3 in 2025. 5 years down the line, you're getting close to, a 5 to 7x. Now, it's not happening anywhere else. I understand we don't want to wait 5 years. We don't have to. We are going to see a further pump on XRP this year. Remember that. The bull run's not over. It's not even close to being over. In my opinion, it hasn't even really started just yet. We've seen an appetizer. We're waiting for that main course to come out. And then when we look at institutional adoption or regulations, what would come from this? Governments would be forced to fully integrate crypto into the economies. Central banks might be holding Bitcoin as a reserve in par alongside with gold. We would get crypto-friendly regulations would come from this. Taxation, DeFi, and stablecoins. And this all does happen. XRP and the XRP ledger, guess what? It's going to play a major role in global payments. And then Smoke Dog put this out, talking about Ripple's role in establishing RLUSD, Ripple stablecoin, as the unofficial US digital dollar. This goes back to the CFTC form that we were talking about. This signals that rather than launching a federal central bank digital currency, the U.S. would foster a regulated environment where private sector solutions like RLUSD can function as the unofficial digital dollar. And then you look at all these different groups and who Ripple is meeting with and what they're sitting on, the Federal Reserve Faster Payments Task Force. They've been on that for quite some time. We look at all the Fed Now payments, and as I think we just did the video on it 2 days ago, like 80% and 90% of them are already tied into Ripple and to RippleNet. And then we got the CFTC that invites Ripple to the pilot form. Ripple and MoonPay just helped Trump launch the Trump coin. There is a lot that is cooking here. And then we know about Ripple's relations outside of the U.S. with close allies that would play back into the U.S. We know about the IMF and when Christine Lagarde was sitting over there. When we connect everything, and everything seems to move very, very slow, folks. And of course it does. When you're talking about all the money, when you're talking about governments, banks, central banks, some of the biggest players in the game, and JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Fidelity, things are going to move slow. Anytime you get governments involved or money involved, things move very, very slowly. Why is that? Well, because they need to make sure that they don't mess up. They need to make sure that they are doing everything correctly, because you only got one shot at this and you got one shot to make it right, and you cannot have any big slip ups or mistakes, especially when you're dealing with all of the freaking money. So we got Ripple CFTC. We see USDT being delisted from European exchanges due to MiCA. Will the US play the same role? Because they really don't know what is behind, or who is behind USDT and what is actually backing it. But when we look at RLUSD, we know where the money comes from. We know who created it. We know how they are backing it. This would be huge if RLUSD flips USDT and becomes the base pairing. Everything that runs through that would use XRP. That is how you talk about the price being through the roof and skyrocketing. Something to pay attention to, but I'm going to leave it like that. Look, wash your damn hands, and be nice and be kind to each other. Ripple Van Winkle is out.